morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with the Focus. Joined this morning by Raymond Lyons. You guys know how this goes. Going to talk about last night's, about to say last night's NBA playoffs. We had somebody go home. Somebody was escorted out the playoffs last night. Another team staved off elimination as round two continues to be quite exciting. All right, so last night, right, the Sixers were eliminated by the Miami Heat, 99-90. Miami won the series 4-2. Miami used the third quarter to create separation. From there, they just handled their business and closed things out. Jimmy Butler led the way with 32 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, couple blocks. Max Strus, 20 points. As the Heat had 5 players in double figures, Philly was led by Embiid and Maxi's 20 points apiece. Neither shot well from the field in the process. I'm being very kind in saying that. They shot horrible from the field, the two of them. And they weren't alone. Tobias Harris had 14 points, 8 boards. Shake Milton added 15 off the bench. All right, Ray, your thoughts on, Miami, number 1 seed, advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals?
In the second half, Philly just looked like they was ready to go home. I mean, they were kind of lifeless, and Miami just beat them into submission. It was a couple plays down the stretch, like the game. It was close to being over, but it was still a slight chance. But Miami's just beating them to every loose ball, getting offensive rebounds. Philly's just stuck in the mud. Like it was still a sliver of hope left, but they weren't fighting, man. So they just looked like they were ready to go, and Miami put them out their misery. Um, that's really what I got from the game. Jimmy Butler, man, he turned up in these last 4 games. He led his team and got him to the next round. But yeah, Philly, that's an embarrassing way to go out, especially on your home floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's pride right there. Like,
Lack thereof.
yeah, right.
Lack thereof. All right, what's going on, Kirksey? See Smitty in here. Kirksey's always on his, BS at the moment. So his second comment got me dying when he first came here. Don't bring up James Harden. We're gonna address that. All right, we're gonna address that. He said they wanted it way more when you were talking about it. Smitty said Philly had no chance, and that's how y'all feel about Philly. And we're gonna get to the CP3 thing. We're gonna get to Phoenix just a little bit right now. The attention is on, the team that everybody felt, Shaq and Kobe part 2. How people were talking when they made that trade and all that nonsense that was said and spread at that time. So yeah, man. I would say it was disappointing, but I'm not gonna say I expected them to go out like this, but I expected them to go out sad. I did not expect them to be what everybody thought. Like, I don't know what y'all thought. Like, we all sat there and watched, Kev fight without help last year, right? And oh boy, it was right there. Cool. No problem. Nobody said nothing. It was cool. This year, for the couple games he had to carry a team, he was upset, didn't want to do that no more. All right, cool. And the worst part is, they were cool with you coming over there playing your little version of just your reduced role. They were cool with it, but you just couldn't wait till Kev got back. You just, I don't want to do this. Okay, cool. Your man's over in Philly. Let's get the band back together. You never hold me accountable. Everything's love. He gets to Philly, and some of y'all were like, "Oh man, they gonna take a what were they about to do?" He hasn't looked right since Houston. Like let's be honest, he didn't look right the entire time in Brooklyn. But the luxury was he never had to look right. Like this was
Exactly.
okay in Brooklyn. And I think that's where everybody got it mixed up. I think a lot of people are like, oh, he's taking a back seat. It wasn't just by choice, folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it's by circumstance. That's who he is now. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, this is why, a lot of us, haha, when folks started saying the Shaq and Kobe stuff, I'm like, that James that y'all knew is no longer with us. Um, And he might need to hit Chris Paul up because, several years ago, another lifetime ago, Chris Paul stayed with hamstring injuries,
Mm-hmm.
Recalibrated the body. And, he's still ticking at 37. He's going through his own things because they in a war over there. We're going to get to that a little later. But James needs to look, man, he's either like
Oh, I think you froze up, Wilson. Give us a second, folks. Wilson's just gonna get back in here. Nah, man, we not letting James get us up out of here, man. Wilson will be back in a second. Y'all, wow.
what's good, Ray? My bad.
What's up? Now you good?
My whole thing got to just rebooting real quick, man. Computer said time out. Stop talking about James like that. But yeah, man, like that's why the Shaq and Kobe stuff was funny, man. I just that's pretty much all I was saying before my computer rudely escorted me out. All right, let's go some of these comments. Did you already get through some of these comments? My bad.
No.
Okay. I don't know why we let him go. I wish he was still with us. Yeah, so did you see the clip of Jimmy walking through the tunnel? Like, y'all kept Tobias Harris over me?
Yeah.
Man.
Yo, somebody's got to punch Embiid in the face after these post-game elimination press conferences. Like, he cannot wait to get in there and disparage his teammates. Like, dude, you were right there with them losing. Like, it's we know Morey's not going to hold Embiid accountable, Harden accountable, but Embiid don't have no accountability neither. Like, it's they be passing the buck like it's their job around there.
Yeah, he tried to come back around afterwards, like, it's not on the coach. I mean, that's cool, man. But I was kind of over it last year when you throw your man underneath the bus, and then this year, like, y'all were talking like after the trade, like as much as you were trolling and everything else about Ben. At least when Ben wasn't out there shooting, he did something else. Because when this dude's not scoring, I mean, what happened? What was that? Another second half with he took 2 shots, scoring no points, and then he's about to opt in for $47 million. That's tough.
Real tough.
That's tough. And again, that's his choice to opt in. You think he's leaving $47 million on the table? Okay.
Yeah, that's a player option. He's definitely.
It's not a team option. That's a whole player option. When they said Shaq and Kobe Part 2, I knew it was over. Oh man. He said he wanted to say James's watch, which he kind of said. I mean, yeah, Harden got me out of here, man. They said stop with that propaganda.
Yeah, man. We went from this is the
most man,
open I've ever been to he's not the same guy. Life comes at you fast.
Happens quick. Happens very quick, man. He said the Rockets, James Harden, just a playmaker now. Hey, look, man. Again, when my man Pat Bev was talking about something about somebody tricked him. That's all he was doing in Brooklyn. It's just you can play playmaker over there and get you a soft 20 without attention because nobody cares what you were doing. You bringing the ball up, facilitating, that's cool over there. People got other issues. Over here, hey, man, they expected you to be, what I'm saying, the guy who took the Rockets to the Eastern Conference Finals and, you know, maybe, he'll get right and recalibrate his body and everything else, man. But I don't know, man. Again, 47 mil. And Tobias Harris makes the next most. So Tobias Harris is the second highest paid person on the team, with James making 47 and Bede at like 33. I think that's
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy. Y'all ain't got time for him this morning. Good gosh. At all. Yeah, hey, look, and that's a whole nother thing. That's their business. It's none of mine.
Yeah, but like at some point, man, like they cannot give him $250 million. They cannot do that.
Hey, man,
Somebody, if that happens, somebody has to lose their job. Like, but again, like you said, that's their business, man. If they do, I don't care.
I mean,
kudos to him for
man's is the GM,
but
his man's is the GM.
Yeah,
like, you trade away the dude who was running around playing defense for everybody because he ain't shoot. Then he went to go get the shooting dude, and he ain't shoot.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought that was how that was about to work out, but you made your bed.
Oh, Kirksey. My goodness. He said he needs to touch the ball to get his powers back, bruh. Man, hey, look, man. Hey, look. If that's what they're gonna do, that is their business. I'm a mind mine. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna mind my entire business.
It's a foregone conclusion at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think? My bad, Ray. Do you think Morey's ego would let him like cut bait after this next?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, see, so
like his ego is what's gonna have him get that dude $250 million.
Can you imagine that right now, giving him in this current state 250 M's?
I'd be more surprised if he doesn't get it at this point, to be perfectly honest, man.
I mean, same here.
Because dude just
they paid Harris all that money they got to pay hiding. That's tough. That's what we was referring to him from here on out. Is hiding. That's tough.
Or you could just do your job. Like it'd be nice if we got back to that point.
You asking a whole lot, sir. It's a whole lot you talking about right there, and no one's interested in that part.
Like, and I just wanted to be clear. I'm not opposed to anybody getting paid, but it got to make sense, man. Like, it got to make sense. If he's in there doing the things that $250 million players do, by all means. And if you want to give him that money when he's not doing it, by all means. Again, it's not my decision to make, but this is why the league is in the state it's in right now, because people are just signing checks like it's monopoly money. And this next round of CBA negotiations, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue, man. So,
hey, look, you told no lies. And there's going to be several contracts people come back to and be like, this is what has us here. And look, man, I'm all for folks getting money, but hey, man, some of y'all got to act real funny during this time. And, that whole, you reap what you sow. It's going to be interesting discussions. Some of y'all out here stealing. So, this is what it is. On to, Phoenix and Dallas. Phoenix had an opportunity. Same opportunity that Miami had on the road to close out a series. Phoenix has been here before. They represented the West in the finals last year. Dallas wasn't having any of that. They came out with the sense of urgency. Their star balled out like you're supposed to in that type of situation. And Dallas pulled away from Phoenix with a strong second quarter, never looked back in the 113-86 win. They even the series at 3, and they head to Phoenix for game 7. And that's all you really want is to have a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas has a chance. 4 players in double figures for the Mavs, led by Lucas, 33 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steal effort. Reggie Bullock chipped in with 19 points and 7 boards. Jalen Brunson had 18, and Spencer Dinwiddie hit 5 of 7 threes off the bench. He finished with 15 points. The Suns shot just 39% from the floor, 33% from deep. And this is the kicker here. They turned the ball over 22 times, 13 of which came from that backcourt. DeAndre Ayton, who they did not extend the qualifying offer to, led the Suns with 21 points and 11 rebounds. Devin Booker finished with 19 points. Chris Paul added 13. Your thoughts, Ray?
The only thing Phoenix has going for them is that no team has won on the road so far in the series. But yeah, if that's gonna hold, then they should be fine. But with the way Dallas played last night, if any of that carries over, it's a wrap. I love the way they're defending Chris Paul. They're throwing multiple bodies at him. They're not resorting to the drop coverage, which he typically tears apart. Luka, man, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Jalen Brunson, he's coming of age in these playoffs, man. He had a great first round. He's continuing to pick it up this round. He's not scoring as much, but he's doing other things, making timely plays. This is a weird series because, like I said, teams are looking way different on the road than they are at home. I'm shocked at Phoenix because, like you said, they're coming off a finals appearance, so they should be the more poised team. They should be able to navigate this a little bit better, but they haven't been able to get it done. But yeah, so at least they have a game 7 in the comfort of their own building, but you don't want to put yourself in that position, man, because now you in a one and done situation, and anything can happen. Like somebody could catch fire. We saw Finney Smith have an out of body experience a couple games ago.
Yep.
So you don't want to put your back against the wall like that. But yeah, man, this has been a fun series, man. I saw somebody comment on the Luka Devin Booker thing. That's funny to watch. But yeah, it's going to definitely be interesting to see how this plays out tomorrow. I think Phoenix wants to get back to the finals. I think they feel like they let one go last year, which they kind of did. They were up 2-0, weren't able to regain their footing. They lost 4 straight. So I imagine they'd be pretty disappointed to go out in the second round. But in Dallas, Luka, he had been struggling to get out the first round before this year, and now he has a chance to go to the conference finals. So in players of his stature and ability, these are the type of games where they kind of add to their legacy and whatnot. So I'm excited to see how both respond. And also, Chris Paul's got to have he's got to come back to life, man, because he's been non-existent the past few games. And it's you got to give credit to the Mavericks, man. They're doing a hell of a job with him defensively, and it's affecting the rest of the team because he's the engine. So Devin Booker's not able to get off as much because Chris Paul's not able to set him up as easily. Ayton, he's still producing, but it's still affecting him because he's not able to get those easy baskets, but he's doing a lot of cleanup work. So yeah, man, I think Chris Paul is the key. He's got to find a way to get loose.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. They have been here before. However, game 7s aren't like game 7. Look, man, this is the last place you want to be with the team that has the pressure on them. Mm-hmm. Dallas, this is house money. This house money. And again, like you said, while they don't have what you have, they got Luka. Like, you have one of those caliber players. You have an opportunity any given game And again, I know Kirksey mentioned like Dallas hasn't shot well on the road. That's true. Um, I mean, neither is Phoenix for the most part. But if you have another one of these 22 turnover performances, man, y'all into the offseason with the whole new team and needing to find a center because Aiton's in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the pressure is only on one team. Dallas like, man, we ain't supposed to be here. Roster's not done. You know, we still got things to add to it. Ain't got no size. We out here with some parts, but there's Luka and there's not like a second guy. We don't even know if they're gonna be able to keep Jalen Brunson when he hits the open market. Because Jalen Brunson been out here printing money for himself with this season that he's had. So yeah, man, I don't know. But I know for Phoenix, that's tough. And then what you mentioned, the fact that this has been two of Chris Paul's worst postseason performances in the same series. Dallas is doing something.
Yeah.
They're doing something, right? Like one time you're like, okay, but they're doing something that's having a great effect. And all they need to do is do it one more time. You don't need to do it 2 more times, 3 more times, 1 more time. Or if he has another one in games where he ends up in foul trouble. But again, if you're Phoenix, you took care of business, you wouldn't have to worry about this. But you did it. And again, game sevens are weird because those are the games where for the home team, man, role players always have good home game. What if your role players have the others struggle? And then the others on the other team have their one game on the road that they contribute happens to be in game 7. Like you mentioned Dorian Finney-Smith. He has another one of those games, man, Phoenix, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
We've seen Luka hit 40 already. Like, again, and this is not knocking Phoenix, but this is what you get when you end up in a situation. And like, yeah, it's cool that you end up at home, but that's why most people try to avoid this situation. You don't want to be here. Had you just split with Dallas one time, you're probably not here right now. Instead, Ray, what you always say about young teams?
They too young to know better. So like it's weird, man. They don't have enough sense to know what type of pressure they're under. So I mean, if they just out there playing free and doing their thing, and yeah, Jason Kidd, they need to talk about that, man, because it was a lot of criticism about their hire, and now they're one game away from the Western Conference Finals. People need to go ahead and offer up their apologies. I mean, we know that's not going to happen, but it is what it is, man.
Kirksey asks,
it is Ayton the kind of guy you can just give the ball and let him go to work?
I don't know if he's that yet. However, in this series, man, y'all down bad. You might want to try it sometimes.
And there might be one place where they have a clear advantage.
Yeah.
That's a tough one
because they typically don't do it. So like,
right, yeah,
it's like we don't know if he can or can't, and
it's tough to throw him in that spot in this
be
situation.
Like game 7. Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna run stuff through you who we didn't believe in enough to extend a qualifying offer and keep you here for our future. Like there is a world. Just want to throw this out there. There's a world that no matter what happens in the series, that DeAndre Ayton could be the center of the Dallas Mavericks next year. Hate to throw it out. Oh no, hey, look, we agree with you. It's just it's tough to ask a young player to do something they haven't done when they just typically they just don't play through him. Like his role currently is, like Ray said, he cleans stuff up, and you're seeing his skill and stuff, but it hasn't been consistent enough. Like you talk about being inconsistent, it hasn't been consistent enough where you feel comfortable just, hey, go get me 30 and 15. Not yet. However, again, maybe if and when he gets to Dallas, that could happen. Who knows? Again, I'm sorry to keep saying this out loud, but like, again, if you're Dallas, you're playing this team, you're in the finals with them, you don't have bigs, they don't want their big. I mean,
yeah, them not giving him his money. I man, look,
I think they're tripping like
yeah,
hard, dude.
yeah, man. Like I, maybe they know something we don't know, but on the surface, that looks like a bad decision to me. Uh, and it, like, who knows, man? It could. I mean, if that's having some type of residual effects on him,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of sucks. But I mean, his job is to go out there and play basketball. But he's still human, and that's still got to be in the back of his mind, man. Like,
Like you anchored the finals run defensively. You were huge in that run last year, and qualifying offer was like, mm.
yeah, I'm not understanding. And to me, if I'm him, that reads as they don't want me here long term. I mean,
Mhm.
I wouldn't blame him if that's his mindset at this point.
And again, he's out there hooping, like he's out there fulfilling his role. Because again, some of these games where Dallas has won, if he's not getting his 20 and 10 or whatever, can you imagine what the score looks like when
Yeah,
those guards have those awful games and he's the one person, taking advantage of his mismatch? Like, again, none of my business at all. I like Cam Johnson as much as the next person. But if y'all about to pull the Tobias Harris over here, that's your business. Again, that's your business. I get it. Like 3-and-D wings are at a premium. Our brother in Christ, young centers. Young centers, you don't just give up for any reason. He's 24 years old.
yeah, man. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in the room when that decision was made, not to give him that qualifying offer, man. Because man, and then if he bounces,
That's all I'm saying, man. Like I don't see him if he is free agency. I don't see him leaving the Western Conference. Somebody's gonna be like, "Ha, I fixed it,"
right?
and it didn't cost me a draft pick. Like seriously, I just had to cut 3 people. So what? Here's your bag of money. I have a 25-year-old center for the next 5 to 7 years.
And then they strengthen their team and weaken the Suns dramatically if they can't fill that void.
Mhm.
Like, so, I don't know, man.
And then there's a world where you lose him and Javale, and then what do you have?
Mm,
Like again, this is just again. I'm not trying to be rude, bearer bad news, anything like that. But there's a world where you lose both DeAndre Ayton and JaVale. And I swear to goodness, if you give Lucas something like Ayton, I wish I the best, man.
yeah, if you can't, if you having issues with a Luca and a Powell pick and roll, heaven help you.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's Luca and Powell, Luca and Maxi Kleba. Like y'all are literally in this type of a fight. Luca weighs more than almost everybody else that plays on his team. He about the same size as Dwight Powell. So,
Yeah. Hey, man.
again, it's none of my business. Just throwing it out there, man. Because like I don't know what Dallas money situation, but there's only one person who's getting real bread over there. So it's just Luca. You got room for somebody else. You got room for another, and then you can just fix stuff around him. Because even Dorian Finney-Smith, he's worth every bit of that $55 million. And if that's the going rate for a 3-and-D wing, so be it. And you can sprinkle in the rest. You think it's gonna be hard to get people to come play with Luca? No, it's not. So again, I don't know what you're doing, Phoenix. I wish you the best. But the pressure's on them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the other thing. Like, it's man, that's a whole lot of pressure going to Game 7. Yes, at home, but again, the pressure's on you. This isn't like you in Golden State or something like that. This is you in Dallas, who most people expected you to wrap up in gentleman's sweep or 6. And
Exactly. You're not even supposed to be in this situation right now. Like, coming off a finals appearance, been the best team all season, and now you're here fighting for your life.
Happens fast. It happens fast. Before we get out of here, we got 2 games tonight. We got Game 6s and Boston, Milwaukee, and Golden State, Memphis. So you got two teams with the opportunity to close out, both of which are at home in Game 6 and have no interest in going to Game 7. We got the Warriors coming off a butt kicking that Memphis gave them because they came in there, playing around with the ball, going through the motions, and Memphis got them up out of there as they should. When people come in there playing with people like that. So I'm interested in seeing Golden State's response. And for Memphis, I know Ja was on the court and everything, and Grizz and 7, that's a tough. I want to see how you respond to this because I'm definitely interested in Golden State's response because you got embarrassed. Got embarrassed. Turn the ball over, playing around. The thing is, what's Golden State's Achilles heel? And it's been everyone talks about the shooting. It's really not. They just careless with the ball. They just don't be caring. And it's been that since they've been together. Anytime they failed, go back and tell me how many turnovers they had in that game.
And then it's not they playing the other team is just playing that great defense where they're just forcing them to give the ball up. These be some of the most careless turnovers I've ever seen, throwing behind the back passes out of bounds for no reason, and just come on, man, you gotta take life a little more seriously than that.
Kirksey said Warriors, but that was by 25. All right, say Bucks by 10. It was Steph's fault. He said they was gonna whip that trick. He didn't know they was the trick. He did not know. They were that night. He did not know. He did not know. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing Golden State's response because that was disgusting what happened to him.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they respond.
I think, because they're a veteran team. Of course, we know, what their track record is to this point. So I'm expecting them to come out sharper tonight. But again, we got another young team that rumbles, so that's gonna be interesting, man. I think if they match the energy, from the beginning, who knows? Who knows, man? But I think if Golden State jumps on them, it'll be a walk away.
Yeah, Golden State never matched their energy in Game 5 at all. Just never did. Memphis came out with a sense of desperation, a sense of urgency. Golden State was like, there's Game 6. And I felt like they literally shrugged and said, there's Game 6, 3 minutes into Game 5.
Right.
And, again, we've seen them do this before.
It's like they peep early. This one was a lost cause. Yeah. Man, we got Game 6 at home to close out.
Yep.
Let's go.
But again, you could end up like the Suns. We'll see how this goes, right? It goes one of two ways. You talk about the Bucks. Celtics are so tough. And Jrue Holiday was amazing closing that game out the other day. So was Giannis. That's another young, tough team. And that series been back and forth the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to go. But again, that's the reigning champs with a chance to to end the series. I can't Kirksey, I'm not with you about the double-digit wins for either party. I just don't see but I am picking both of them tonight. I'm gonna say that. I'm leaning that way. Just the championship resolve from both of them. I don't see them. I think they both understand you need to end these tonight.
Exactly, yeah. And in Boston, they got to be sick because they let one go.
Oh my goodness.
Dude. They could be the ones playing to close the series out. They should be the ones playing to close the series out tonight. But they let one go on their home floor. But again, they might come out with a sense of desperation to get that opportunity back on their home floor for Game 7.
They got the same mindset or reason to get out this game that Memphis does because they have home court in Game 7.
But the problem is, like you said, the Bucks know that, and they're not going to return the favor.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're going to have to both of the young teams tonight. You're going to have to take these wins.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to take these because again, the Bucks took something they shouldn't have had, but they took it. Y'all, they left the crack in the door, and the Bucks were like ours. And that's what we're talking about. Just championship DNA, knowing that, yeah. And literally, they left the crack. They cracked the door, and all of a sudden, Milwaukee's offense just smoothed out. All of a sudden, shots were just falling.
Man,
14-point lead disappears. It happened.
I don't even think they cracked the door. I think they closed the door and just left it unlocked.
And then it got kicked open.
And Milwaukee just walked in the room, man. Like, God, like that's
And look, they walked in the room, put them on the other side, and then they double locked the doors. That was Drew Holiday making sure all the locks were locked at the end. The snatch block, the steal at half court. Like, I don't know, man. And again, like, they're home this time. So no, there's no reason.
Absolutely
like,
not.
There's no reason to break, like, whatever the Celtics do. Two of them need to be together, like, no matter what. You don't need to separate Jalen and Jason. They complement each other too well. Don't do what Toronto did. You've already had more. You've already held these dudes together longer than Toronto did, and you've had more success. Don't do it. Just continue heading in the right direction. Like, Toronto never got to see T-Mac and Vince, like, grow or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a chance to see it. You'd be crazy. Like, in my mind, I got two people, and then I got two roster spots that are guaranteed. After that, we just, we'll keep moving stuff around until we get what we need to get. But my 2 and my 3, we locked in. That's it. Figure everything else out.
They're in a good spot, man. They like these guys aren't 30 years old. Like it's
6.
It's time to develop, man. So I wouldn't steer off course from where they are right now.
Yeah, like, man, they're in a good place. They're in a really good place. He said Greek ain't rocking. He is different. That is a whole problem. And that was the difference. Like, when everybody, talking about what's it called? Like the discussion between what Boston defense did to Kevin and to Greek. They're two totally different players. One is uber downhill. Like, that's the Incredible Hulk coming down there. He don't care. Like, they're both 240. Their body types are they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So are their games. All right. You can bump and bother and move Kevin, all types of stuff you can do to him because of how he plays, right? Cool. You can't do that stuff to Greek. However, there is stuff you can do to Greek. You can give him some of them turnaround jumpers that you wouldn't dare give Kevin. You can give him foul line jumpers that you wouldn't dare leave Kevin open for. Problem is, man, bull, China shop. Look, man, there's always somebody bigger, faster, and stronger. Boston found that out in this series. It's a big, strong dude, man. And even then, they've done a great job in some games against them.
Yeah.
Like, they've done an outstanding job. That's why this series has been like that. So, I think last game was his best game, like, statistically, on the offensive end. I think it was like 16-25 or 16-27 or something. Like, that was one of his best games on his way to 40. So, I mean, it's not like he's had his way this entire time, but the way he plays messes. It challenges Boston because he lives in the paint. And even if y'all are down, he don't care. He's going up. Don't care. He stays down there.
You don't get any relief because it's every play.
And that's the thing. There's and the other thing they do have, they have multiple people. They have another facilitator. Like, Drew Holiday being there is huge.
Oh yeah,
like that's a big part. They have an actual facilitator there that can also get a bucket, but he's a facilitator, all around player. Like, it's huge. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see what happens tonight. Drew looks like Drew, the defense player of the year. Look, man, Drew's one of them dudes where, like, I don't care if he ever wins one. His resume.
Right.
You know what it is. Greek play like he ain't a top dog and got paid. Yeah, that's just dude's a Terminator, man. He don't care. And that's the thing. He don't care. Like, he's not going to care. No, he does not. Yeah. And that's the other thing. The team around Greek, it's fully formed already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what's it called? Milwaukee's, they coming off a championship. They are exactly who they are. Their roster just took another step in continuity for the most part, right?
Right.
You got Brooklyn over there where their facilitator ain't played after that trade. He was never on the floor. You can say whatever you want to say about Ben and what have you, all that extra stuff. I know people subscribe to all types of wild stuff. But as a basketball player, had they had him to facilitate, that changes things for them. They didn't have a facilitator. Kyrie's a lot of things. A facilitator is not one of them. It's just because somebody can throw nice passes that sometimes does not make them a facilitator. I think sometimes people get that mixed up. Also, upon that trade, he was their best defender at the point of attack. Philly knows that. You see what they look like defensively since his absence. Trash. Imagine if they had Chris. I don't know if the series is still. I don't know if they're at this place in the series because that would have been another problem where that's another dude who he can take somebody into the post, hit that turnaround jumper over and over and over. And Chris eats because people are so worried about Giannis and the pressure he puts on.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is a sniper. That's another 6'8", 215, 220-pound body to throw, especially on defense that they don't have. So that's more size to deal with Boston. I think, again, Drew, look, man, Drew's Drew. He's always been that for me. And I like Marcus Smart a lot. If you ask me which one I would like, you can keep your awards and everything else, taking Drew. So just me. All day, every day, I rock with Drew. And again, he's one of those dudes that even without the wars, man, we know what it is. You can't bring him up when people talk about best defenders in the league. I mean, you can't leave him out. Like, you know what it is.
Right, yeah. Absolutely.
It goes without saying.
His peers know.
Yeah. Exactly. The people that he straps up knows what time it is. Like, they feel it. Like, again, the snatch block, man, kept the possession. Like, man, that's some Drew Holiday stuff, man. Look Marcus Smart in his face, Bob hit the midi. It's Drew Holiday. That's why a bunch of us, when they got Drew Holiday, was like, oh, man, that's tough. Well, some of us were just like that. I can't say a bunch of us. Some of us like, oh, man, that's tough. That's a get you over the hump type deal.
Right, yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was to get you over the hump because I could come make anybody have their worst day ever, and I could go get a bucket on purpose. And that's the thing. Like, Marcus Smart has good offensive games or whatever here and there, and there's nothing wrong with Marcus Smart at all. Hell of a defender. Drew can do that more on a regular basis in terms of both ends of the floor. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong. That's not a knock on Marcus at all. And he's probably more of just an actual floor general in that regard. So, but that's why this series has been fun. So I can't wait to see how both of these games play out this evening. And then you guys already know we'll be back Monday morning. No Saturday show tomorrow. I am sleeping in. Ray, you had anything else you wanted to add before we get out of here?
Nah, man, just looking forward to these games tonight.
Yeah. And just a reminder, man, look, WNBA season has started, man. Y'all missed some good games already. Tune in. It's real simple. Just tune in. I think we got Mystics Wings tonight. Should be fun. So you guys know we'll have Mystics Outlook later this evening. Probably Monday morning. We'll let stuff kind of settle down and we'll talk about the NFL, the schedule, and all that nonsense. However, have you seen the Panthers schedule release, Ray?
I have not.
It's 90s inspired. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. The accuracy is crazy. I have to whatever non-90s person or whatever 90s person did that, left no stone unturned. When's the last time you seen a Digimon? A Digimon, Etch-a-Sketch, the TVs with the backs.
Man.
That AOL dial-up.
They're getting real creative with these. Because who else had a crazy one? The Chargers.
Yeah, the Pop-Tarts. Yeah. The Chargers had the Pop-Tarts. Every opponent was a Pop-Tart. That was actually funny. Yeah, there was a couple of them that are funny, man. I'm gonna try to get a short list for Monday morning. We're gonna just laugh about those together. But y'all have a good one. Ray, thanks for coming through as always. So for Raymond Lyon, Wilson Tarpe Jr., we'll see you guys later this evening if you guys tune in to Mystics Outlook. If not, we'll see y'all Monday morning, bright and early Monday morning. Y'all have a great Friday, the rest of the weekend. A lot of postseason hoops this weekend, a lot of WNBA hoops. You guys check that all out. And again, we'll talk about the NFL schedule on Monday morning.